Interdimensional Meditation Astral Travel Report for May 11th, 2025. Is it possible to physically shift our bodies into 5D? That is my question for you. I would love to know the answer to that. Perhaps we just simply have to keep experimenting until we figure it out. It's going to be sort of my goal. All right, so yes, this is the Interdimensional Astral Travel Report for the meditation that we did Saturday, May 10th. We do, of course, these live guided interdimensional meditations twice a week, every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If you're not able to make the live meditations, go to the live section on the YouTube channel and you'll see all of the meditations that we've done. If you want to have fun, just simply pick one at random and see what happens. They're all different. None of them are the same. All right. So what happened with our meditation? All right. So I'm just going to share with you where I'm at right now. I am shifting into deeper channeling states. And I really don't know how I feel about that. But astrologically speaking, for me, again, I'm a Vedic astrologer. I'm not a Western astrologer, so please don't try and ask me about any of your Western astrology. But in my Vedic astrology, what is happening right now is the south node of the moon, also known as Ketu, is starting to transit directly over my ascendant. So your ascendant is more than just your sign, it's the actual point at which you came into this world. And so the exact point of that does have very significant I can't even talk. It has very significant information about me. So, I was born at 2 degrees of Magha, which is in the sign of Leo. It's just barely in the sign of Leo, and Magha is the nakshatra or the star system, which you may know of as Regulus. Means the same thing. Regulus means ruler, Magha means mighty, and it's associated with rulership, with kings. So that's where I exist, and as it turns out, Ketu rules over that nakshatra, and each nakshatra has a deity that rules over it. In this case, there are no deities ruling over it. The ancestors, the Pitris, the ancestors, are the ones that rule over this nakshatra. So my nakshatra, I'm at what's called Pada 1, which means that you actually live, like your essence. Each of the 2, 3, there's 4 padas per nakshatra. Each one of those has different significations. So it means that my essence lives with the Pitris that are responsible for rulership. So, Ketu represents leaving this reality. So, in the 3rd dimension, Ketu is very destructive because it tends to destroy any attachment. So, if you have Ketu, for instance, sometimes conjunct with Venus, you may not be able to fall in love or keep love relationships or money. If it's associated with whatever house, it tends to destroy the 3rd dimensional attachment. And it means that it's something that you have accomplished in a past life and gained mastery over, and now it doesn't hold any appeal to you but you have mastery over it. So anyway, take what you want from that. So now K2 is now beginning to transition over my ascendant, which is already in Magha. So it is my prediction, and it has been my experience, that since this started happening, this is when I started channeling. I started channeling right when, as this this transit was approaching, and now it's here. And I don't know if it's direct. I don't think it's directly over me yet, but it's close enough that it's having a huge impact. And so, what's happening is I'm having more and more ability to just sort of go blank and be this portal. So in the third dimension, K2 destroys the third dimension. But another way to look at it is K2 is a portal to higher dimensions. So K2 represents death. It's literally like the portal we go through when we leave this world, when we die. So since we know that death is an illusion, what's really happening is that you're upgrading, you're upshifting. But in order to do that, you have to let go of all of this illusion, this video game, this Maya. So K2 comes along and destroys all of that. So I've made the decision to go with it. I'm really focusing on it. And so as a result, I'm having, I'm barely in this world. And the more that I try, like if I try and be in this world, I'm extremely, extremely uncomfortable. But if I just relax and just die to everything in this third dimensional reality, I go into this other place. And so that's why you're seeing all of these. It's no coincidence all of these channelings are happening as this is happening to me. Anyway, back to our experience yesterday. So we did with the Hool breath warm-up. As we always do, we start with the Hool breath. And I do that for myself as well as for everybody else to get your machine up and running and connected to all of the energy. And then things just, in terms of my memory, things just kind of go blank. So I would love to hear from you what you remember happening. What did I do after that? After we finished the warm-up, what I remember is we just started going, anyway, we'll talk about it, but I want to hear how you remember what happened at the beginning of the meditation. Please because I'm gonna miss a lot of details. So please share what you remember about what you experienced. All right, my memory gets fuzzy after that. That's to say the least. And I remember that I skipped a lot of steps. So normally I have some steps that I go through. I'm not like married to any particular steps of what we do in what order, but there's usually some kind of, I usually try and, get us into a higher state, and take us through steps to get there. And I remember that I just kind of threw all that away and I just went straight to the power zone. So, so what I remember is I erased 3D altogether and I saw the underlying quantum reality. I don't remember how I did it. Please share with me what you remember, but the way I remember it is that as soon as we started doing the Hool breath, I just started seeing everything go away. Everything, not just 3D, but 5D, and everything just disappeared. And it just became this bright white light. And I got a sense I was looking at the quantum reality underneath all of the dimensions. Very powerful state, very powerful, intense light, intense energy, and I was, I said here, I basically was gone. I wasn't really here anymore. So then the quantum state revealed a super powerful fractal being. The way I remember it is that I began talking almost immediately about this extremely powerful being that was sort of underlying everything. And it wasn't like God. It wasn't like that. It was different. It wasn't anything I'd experienced before. And what I saw was in this just white space, I saw, I tried to depict, I tried to find a picture that depicted it, but if you see that crystal there, it wasn't exactly like that. Imagine that crystal was just like an egg shape, and all of these different colored fractal crystal things. It's like it was like it had been sliced up, and it was, just all these different fractal slices, and all of them had different colors. And it was very powerful. And this was a being. There was a consciousness behind this being. And if I remember correctly, I think I said something about, communicate with this being. I don't remember what I said or how I guided that, but I know I started having a dialogue with this being who started telling me things. So the fractal being spoke to me. I don't remember exactly what he said. Of course, something having to do with my power, all that grandiose stuff that they do, always telling you you're a god, you're more powerful than anything, all those things. What I'm not mentioning is the power that I was feeling. So in my heart and in my body, I think I even talked about it, there was just this electromagnetic higher dimensional energy that was beginning to increase exponentially within me. The power was unbelievable, very blissful and very intense, but was not from our dimension. I began to channel about the coming 5D shift. I think I remember talking about it, but I was trying to do the normal thing and guide you through what I was seeing and making suggestions about what to do. And then the next thing I knew, I was channeling. I was speaking. I don't even remember. Tell me what you remember, because I don't remember. But I think it had something to do with the coming shift. Then we came back to 3D. I definitely felt out of phase with 3D. I don't really remember. What's interesting is that we were there almost an hour. It wasn't quite an hour. It might have been 45 minutes, but it felt like 5 minutes had gone by. But I know that we had spent some time there, and the energy was very intense. And again, as has been the case recently, it wasn't like the meditation was winding down. That's not the feeling I get when I do these guided meditations. Once we start going and we go deeper and deeper, it feels like we could just keep going. We could just keep going. The energy isn't dissipating. It's getting more intense, and it feels like, we could just... And there's just some part of me that says, okay, it's time to stop. And so I pull us back in. But this one was, it was different. So came back to 3D, felt out of phase with 3D. I don't remember a whole heck of a lot. I'm very tired today, and I'm still feeling out of phase with the third dimension. Very tired today. Now, that could be due to a lot of things. I went to the gym yesterday. Sometimes if I work out really hard, I'll be tired the next day. That's what happens as you get older. You need more recovery time. But I don't think that's it. I think my body is just wiped out from the amount of energy that was flowing through me and that I was tapping into. So the title for today's video is it possible to physically shift our bodies into 5D? If I remember, I'd be happy to hear your experience, but I think I started talking about that. Oh, now I remember. I didn't put this in the list. I did teach you a meditation that was taught to me not too long ago. I've been hinting at it. And I started thinking, as I always do. So I'm going to give you my, how I navigate life. This is how I function. Ever since I wrote the book, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life, if you haven't read it, go read it. michaeldenney.org. You can get the link to all of my books on Amazon. You can go look for it on Amazon if you want. Ever since I wrote that book, the way I live my life is like this. I check in with myself on a daily basis and I ask myself, what do I want more than anything else? What is my fantasy? What do I believe will make me happy? Not what do I think is going to make me safe, being a billionaire or having 10 houses or, all this, having a job, all this stuff that, that 3D stuff. I stopped doing that a long time ago. It doesn't work. What I do is I ask myself, what do I want? Like as a kid, what do you want? If you could do anything, what do you want to do? You want to be a ballerina? You're a 300-pound Hawaiian man? Well, that's, even though everybody tells you can't do it, you should go do it. That's how I live my life. If there's something that I want, even if it's impossible, I go get it. And I do whatever it takes. That's why those of you who put comments, I have to acknowledge, every now and then these comments come up. And you guys think you're saying something and you're not. When you say, well, whatever it is you're commenting on, then you say, I'm getting ready to, in the latest one, I'm getting ready to step up and do the 90-day challenge or the paid things or the subscription. I just need to get more money together, or I need to get a job, or, and you think what you're doing is you're actually moving towards something by talking like that. And you're accomplishing nothing. The words are meaningless. So, as I said, let me give you a hint on manifestation. Manifestation is not something you save up for. When you want to manifest something, you don't save up, life force energy, and then now you have enough energy to go manifest it. It's not how it works. There's an illusion that you need to have something in order to have something else. It's an illusion. Every single moment is a manifestation out of nothing. In order to preserve our experience of the third dimension, we create a past. And so we think, I've been working for 10 years, I built up this amount of money, and now I can afford this, house or motorcycle or whatever it is that you're going to buy. And that's just not how life works. The way life works is you focus on what you truly want, you commit to it internally, and then you take action. And you can accomplish the impossible instantaneously. It is very simple. It can be done. It may not be easy because you'll have to let go of a lot of your attachments and a lot of your ego and a lot of your identity to all kinds of stuff. That is why our society is built the way it is. It's built the way it is to train you to, first off, believe in things that like money, and believe in status, and believe in all of that stuff. And they tell you can't just go and get something. You have to get the money. You have to save the money. You have to get a loan. You have to get a degree. You have to go through all these things in order to get the stuff. And that is from the people who want you to believe that they have all the stuff. The banking cartels, for example. They want you to believe that they have all the money. And if you do the slightest bit of investigation into the current financial scenario, you'll find that banks literally have nothing. That when you go to get a loan from them, on their computers, they press a button and they manufacture money out of nothing. And they give it to you, and then they charge you interest on it. You've been told if you go and put your money in a bank account that the money is actually there and you're earning interest on it because they're lending your money out to other people. It's not what's happening. What's happening is they do the same thing. It's a lie that they all agree on. All of the banking cartels have agreed, even if they compete with each other. They agree that we're going to make up this lie about money. We know it doesn't exist. If you go looking for a bank for your money, you won't find anything there. They know that. So what they do is with your money, which is nothing that they've given you, when you put it back into a bank, they then take that and they play the stock market with it. They're not lending it out and then charging interest and making money off that interest. It's not how it works. The whole thing is a scam. So, this is just a good time to tell people, if you want to manifest something, it has nothing to do with, I'm getting ready, I'm going to get myself together, I'm going to meditate more about it, or I'm going to save up my money to get that thing that I want, or, something, again, like the Warrior Lightning Qigong is $55 a month. Literally, unless you're homeless, you can afford it. Unless you're homeless or unless you're 10 years old, you can afford it. So when I hear people say, I can't afford it, I'm talking to somebody who's on a computer, who's using internet, who has a telephone, who probably has a car. I know that you have money somewhere. You just don't want to pay for it. And you tell yourself you don't have any money. You tell yourself, I need a job. This is what you tell yourself. And it's an excuse to keep you trapped in this dependence on the third dimensional narrative. So if you want something, I'm here to tell you, the universe says, just go get it. We'll provide you with the resources. That's how it works. Anyway, I got off track, but how I got started on that, I don't know. So what I was saying, okay, now I remember. So the way that I live my life is that I will ask myself on a daily basis, unless I'm just, very happy because something I'm already experiencing, or something I love just happened. I check in with myself on a daily basis and I go, what do I want? What's going to make me deliriously happy? And then when I become clear and I can feel within myself exactly what is going to make my soul happy, I go do it. Or I make the effort to go do it. I'm going to figure it out. I may not know how to do it the moment, but I'm going to figure it out. And I've come to find out that this happens all the time, and it usually takes me maximum 1 year. So if I have a really intense desire and I verbalize it, that I want this, I really want this, X, Y, and Z more than anything else, I will end up having that. And I'll usually know, I'll look back a year later and I'll go, I got exactly what I asked for. Even if it comes together in very strange ways that I never saw coming. And sometimes it'll come as I'm heading into what looks like a tragedy. Some kind of major tragedy is unfolding and exploding, and then I find out, if I just relax, it ends up being exactly what I said I wanted a year ago, but it didn't manifest in the way that I was expecting. So this is how I live my life, and I've come to realize that I'm bored with the third dimension. I am just bored with it. And I can blame it on things like, I'm 61. The things that I used to want to have, I just don't. I'm just not interested in them anymore. I'm losing any ambition towards career or reputation. I'm losing all of that. I'm just not interested. The more that I do these meditations, the more and more I want to go live in 5D, because it's the energy is so beautiful. It's a question of how do I get there without, which I don't do. How do I get there? So I've come to the conclusion that I'm gonna find a way to teach myself how to shift myself, to shift the frequency of my body so that I can physically shift to a higher dimension. So I taught you a meditation that was given to me. I was thinking about this, and I reached out to my friends, my higher dimensional friends, and I said, is there something I can do? Is there a meditation? Is there a practice I can do that will help me shift? And I was taught a meditation, which I showed you in the meditation video we did last night. So if you haven't watched it and you're waiting for me to tell you, you have to go and do it in the video. And I started playing around with that, and I started feeling this huge amount of energy, and I started feeling like I was about to, launch out of this reality. So we did that. We did that together in the meditation. And I think I'm going to do more of that, because when more of us do it, I think it increases the power of it. And I want to be clear, I have not been given specific information that nobody's told me in higher dimensional beings. No higher dimensional beings have specifically told me you're going to shift into the fifth dimension. They haven't told me that I'm not. They haven't told me anything. I've been talking about the solar flash event and the shift to 5D, not because I've been specifically shown that, but I will say that I do believe that I have been strongly encouraged to believe it. Now, that doesn't mean anything either. It could just mean believing in something will get you to shift to a higher, who knows what. But it's getting harder and harder for me not to believe that that's what happens, seeing how the light beings have the ability to do this. They can shift from different dimensions. By the way, anybody, again, fifth dimension is not what you hear people talking about on YouTube. I keep seeing this all the time. If you're watching this, you've already shifted to 5D. People around you are not in the fifth dimension and they reject you. Listen, if you're in literally another spatial dimension, because it's a physics thing. If you're in another spatial dimension, you will not be in this reality. So there's nobody who's typing on their computer or recording onto their laptop if they're in the fifth dimension. It's ridiculous. If somebody shifts, like in other words, if I have the ability to shift to 5D, I would literally be able to shift completely. Like if I was recording this, I would be able to completely shift. There would be nobody sitting in the chair. And then if I had the ability to come back, I would be able to magically return back into this dimension. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the new age, shift your mind into 5D. And if you're in 5D, you're in love, all the new agey. Everybody's trying. They're doing their best. So am I. Let me just clear, I don't have all the answers and I make mistakes, so I'm doing my best. They're doing their best. So that's the question. Can we do it? I am going to begin acting as though that is a possibility. It's just a question of figuring it out. But I am still reminded of something that I was told probably, I want to say, a year and a half ago by a light being who said, people are going to think that you've died. Now that freaked the hell out of me. And I double checked to make sure, because, my brain could have come up with that. I'm not, I'm not perfect when it comes to this, and my brain could have made it up. They came back a second time, if I remember correctly, and they said the exact same thing. They said, people are going to think that you died. And then I started flipping out. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. You're scaring me. And they said, don't worry. When the time comes, you'll know exactly what to do. So that was a while ago. To the best of my knowledge, I have not shifted to 5D according to the definition I just gave you, unless this is it and it just looks a hell of a lot like the old reality, which I don't think makes a lot of sense. I have shifted to the 5D mindset frequency. I definitely have. I was shown that, but I don't think that was 5D. Not that they said it would be 5D, but I know that the experience of what they've claimed we're going to have is going to be absolutely blissful. What that means, I don't know. But I'm going to start imagining that it can be done. Therefore, I'm going to figure out how to do it. So I'm sharing that with you. So we did that in the meditation, and I don't know what happened or where we went or what the effect is. All I know is that when I came back, I was barely here, and I'm still not really here, and I'm feeling a lot of light beings come and go, and a lot of energy and a lot of communications, and just not feeling part of this reality very much. So that could change. Everything, one thing is guaranteed, is that things will change. That is the one thing you can guarantee. Anyway, I think that's it. I'm done babbling for this report. Yeah, so you know the drill. We have more channelings coming. So you'll see those as I upload them. And I'm definitely going to keep doing it. I know that every time that I channel, I get closer. Something in me shifts. More of my 3D dies. I'm getting more and more comfortable with that. And I'm going to keep doing it because I believe that when I do all the channelings that I'm destined to do, I think I won't be here anymore. And I think every time I do it, I get closer and closer to this other world, which I now believe physically exists outside of this third dimensional frequency that we're in. So if you would like to have that experience, have me do a channeling for you, you'd be doing me a favor, but of course it's about you, not about me. You go to channel.thunderwizard.com. The half price, what you see is for the half price channel. It was only for a week. I'm going to keep doing that because what I want to do is I want to take these, video them, and upload them on my channel. I want to do as many as possible. So if you do the half price, it means that you're giving me permission to video it and make a video upload on my channel. I also upload it to Rumble. So if you don't want people to know what the light beings are telling you what to do, then you can go for the full price channeling. It's completely up to you. I've told you where you can find my books. If you're on my channel and you haven't read my books, people ask me questions and I can tell whether or not you've put time and effort into learning the material, including my books, including the practices, including the things that we do on the Thunder Wizard Patreon site. Speaking of which, you can go to thunderwizard.com, and there are so many ways that you can interface with me. We've got a interdimensional meditation live Zoom group, which is really powerful and wonderful. You can have sessions with me if you want, on a weekly basis, depending on the level that you subscribe at. There's also a shop there. Now, the shop allows you to buy videos and courses that you can stream. And anyway, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you want to have the kinds of levels of experience that I have, you got to do what I did. I do these energy practices, the Maoshan practices, all this stuff here. I mean, I did that for years, and that's what's given me the ability to have the experiences that I have and still hold myself together. So if you want to have more experiences, deeper, more powerful experiences, the two things that I recommend you do is you come and do the free live guided interdimensional meditations twice a week, and you do the thunderwizard.com practices, whether that's the Awakening the Immortals, whether that's the Celestial Qigong, whether that's um, the Lightning Qigong or the Mao Shan Five Elements, or, plenty of stuff I got on there. That's what you do to keep yourself in shape so that you can handle the energy. By the way, that's what yoga is about. People don't know this, but yoga is not about stretching. People say, I'm going to yoga class, and the truth is they're not going to yoga class. Westerners went to Westerners went to India wanting to learn to be shamans, learn spirituality. And people say, oh, you have to go to the yogi. You have to learn yoga, which means union. And these Westerners go there, they've got no training whatsoever. Their meridians are blocked. They have no. So the yogi looks at them and realizes he has to teach them hatha yoga, which is the breathing and the movement to open up their meridians. And the Westerners did that for a few years, and then they just packed off and went back to Europe and the United States, and then they opened up these yoga classes, and the yogis are like, wait a minute, that was just to get your meridians open. We haven't even started. We have to get your body prepared so you can handle the energy. That's the same. That's what I'm teaching you. The energy practices give your body, your nervous system, the ability to handle the higher dimensional energies. So I don't know that you're going to find any place else in the YouTube world, or perhaps anywhere, with somebody that has the level of practices that I have. I encourage you to do more than just sit back and play around with this stuff. You can do whatever you want. It's your reality. But it's my job to give the world, whoever wants to hear it, as much power as they can handle. And you'll find that thunderwizard.com. That said, my friends, I love you all. Please be extremely good to yourselves, and please put in the comments your experiences. What happened to you? What you remember that I took you through in the meditation, because I don't remember. And I'd love to hear from you. Please be very safe. I love you all. Take care.